Good morning, everyone. In this video lesson, we are going to learn about turnstile antenna and horn antenna. The objectives of this lesson are need for turnstile antenna, principles of a turnstile antenna, radiation pattern of turnstile antenna, different types of turnstile antennas, and we will also discuss about horn antenna. And in the last class, we have studied about antennas, resonant antennas, non-resonant antennas, half-wave dipole, folded dipole, need for antennas. Antenna is a structure capable of transmitting electromagnetic power. It is a structure capable of receiving electromagnetic power. And we require an antenna for the purpose of radiation of the signal into the space, for coupling the transmitter to the space, similarly space to the transmitter at the receiving end. So we require antennas. The output power of both picture and sound transmitters will be radiated by a single antenna structure. So in case of television transmitter, if we take, there is a composite video signal which consists of both the picture modulation product and the sound modulation product that will be radiated by a single antenna structure. Because any communication system, for example, a TV transmission system, consists of a TV transmitter, TV receiver, and a communication medium. So the transmitting medium is the direct link between the transmitter and receiver. So in this case, in TV transmission, it is a wireless communication, and therefore we require no physical voice. We need an antenna. It is a radio communication system. There are no direct connections. The system is wireless. The modulated signal generated by the transmitter is sent into free space and is picked up by the receiver. The process of radiating the signal into space and receiving it are the functions of the antenna. So the output power of both the picture and sound composite video signal, it must be radiated by a single antenna. So we have a transmitting antenna for the purpose of TV transmission. The antenna must produce almost constant impedance over the operating bandwidth of 7 megahertz. So each television channel requires a bandwidth of 7 megahertz to accommodate both audio and video signals. So a total bandwidth of 7 megahertz is required. So that much bandwidth must be carried out by the signal. So the antenna must be wideband enough such that it has to radiate the signal properly into the space. The antenna is to be mounted at the top of the high tower to provide a line of sight communication between the transmitters and receivers. So the antenna should have omnidirectional radiation pattern in azimuth with power beamed in the horizontal direction. Most of the TV antennas are horizontally radiated, so it must be radiated horizontally in horizontal direction. It must be radiated. So in case of TV transmission, the antenna should be omnidirectional. Omnidirectional means radiation should be there in all the directions, so that in different directions the receivers can pick up the television signal. So this antenna should produce omnidirectional radiation pattern in azimuth angle with power beamed into the horizontal direction. So circular radiation pattern is azimuth is obtained by using an antenna called turnstile antenna. Hence there is a need for turnstile antenna which produces a pattern, a radiation pattern, which is of omnidirectional radiation pattern. So the signal should be radiated equally in all the directions. So turnstile antenna is meeting the requirements for TV transmission. We require turnstile antenna. So we will be discussing in detail about the turnstile antenna in this lesson. The basic radiating element is a dipole. Antenna structure with two dipoles connected at right angles. Turnstile antenna is a combination of two dipoles designed to give omnidirectional radiation pattern in horizontal plane with horizontal polarization. The polarization used in a turnstile antenna is horizontal, so the antennas must be horizontally oriented, and two dipoles are considered here, and they are connected at right angles to each other. So the basic radiating element in the turnstile antenna is a dipole. This turnstile antenna, it is a structure with the two dipoles connected at right angles, and hence turnstile antenna is a combination of two dipoles designed to give omnidirectional radiation pattern in the horizontal plane with horizontal polarization. In this type of antenna, two crossed dipoles are used in a turnstile arrangement, means perpendicular arrangements. The dipoles are fed 90 degrees out of phase. These dipoles are fed in phase quadrature, that is 90 degrees out of phase. That is, the currents fed into these elements are 90 degrees out of phase. So turnstile antenna consists of two dipoles that are connected at right angles to each other. These dipoles are fed in phase quadrature. That is, the currents fed in these elements are 90 degrees out of phase. It is a dipole, as we have seen. It's a folded dipole structure. The length of the dipole is lambda by 2. So one conductor and other conductor, they are coupled at both the ends, and therefore the radiation resistance of this dipole becomes 4 times that of the half wave dipole. 4 into 72 ohms, 280 ohms is the dipole folded dipole resistance. This is the main element which we are using in the design of turnstile antenna. The radiation pattern of the one half wave dipole. So it is figure of 8. This is figure of 8. The radiation is perpendicular to the plane. This is the axis of the antenna. It is a half wave dipole. The radiation is perpendicular to the line, and when it comes in line, the radiation becomes 0. So it is radiating the signal in this direction. It is also radiating the signal in this direction. And we have certain beam width. If we calculate, this is the maximum field. If we take maximum field divided by √2, we are getting a value. When we take that value, we are getting 2 3 dB points. If we take the angular difference between 2 to 3 dB points, we will be getting the 3 dB bandwidth. So within this 3 dB bandwidth, the signal is radiated into the space. So for one half wave dipole, we are getting this type of radiation pattern. Whereas turnstile antenna, if we take turnstile antenna, we have two half wave dipoles, one placed horizontally and one placed vertically. So if it is a radiation pattern in the 3D space, it is a direction in this direction. It is going. And the same figure of 8 we have in the opposite direction also. This is a dipole antenna, lambda by 2. So it is a radiation pattern shown in a 3-dimensional view. Now let us take the turnstile antenna design. As we have seen, it consists of two dipole antennas. This is one dipole antenna. This is the second dipole antenna. They are placed perpendicular to each other. Turnstile antenna is a combination of two dipoles designed to give omnidirectional radiation pattern in the horizontal plane with horizontal polarization. In this type of antenna, two crossed dipoles are used, as shown in the diagram. Crossed dipoles are used in the turnstile arrangement. The dipoles are fed 90 degrees out of phase. For example, if this is fed with 0 degrees, this antenna must be fed with 90 degrees. So the dipoles are fed with 90 degrees out of phase. Each dipole has a figure of 8 radiation pattern in the horizontal plane but crossed with each other. The resultant field in all directions is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of fields radiated by each conductor in that direction. Thus, the resultant radiation pattern is very nearly circular in the plane of the turnstile antenna. So this turnstile antenna is most widely used for FM broadcasting band in addition to TV transmission, because this FM signal should be radiated in all the directions. So many directional radiation pattern is required. This is one folded dipole. This is another folded dipole. They are crossly connected perpendicular to each other. One is fed with 0 degrees phase shift. The other one is fed with a signal with 90 degrees phase shift. Then this antenna produces a figure of 8 pattern, and this antenna produces another figure of 8 pattern. If those two are combined, we are getting a omnidirectional type of radiation pattern. Each dipole has radiation pattern of figure of 8 in the horizontal plane. So we have figure of 8 radiation pattern in the horizontal plane for each dipole. The resultant radiation pattern of the two dipoles combination is almost a circle. So we are getting a circular type of radiation pattern. One is figure of 8 horizontally, the other one is figure of 8 vertically. Then if we take the resultant of these two waves, then we are getting almost the radiation pattern equal to the circular radiation pattern. That is the reason the turnstile antenna, which is a combination of two dipoles designed to give omnidirectional radiation pattern in the horizontal plane with horizontal polarization. So in this type of antenna, two crossed dipoles are used in a turnstile arrangement. The dipoles are fed 90 degrees out of phase. Due to that, we are getting each dipole figure of 8 pattern in the horizontal plane but crossed with each other. The resultant field in all directions is equal to the square root of sum of the squares of the fields radiated by each conductor in that direction. So that's the resultant pattern is very nearly circular in the plane of turnstile. The pattern has feature that it is polarized in same plane. So horizontal polarization, if we take, we have circular radiation pattern in the plane of turnstile. This is the radiation pattern of a turnstile antenna. It is almost circular like this. If you take one dipole, this is the figure of 8. If you take folded dipole, it is also a figure of radiation pattern is figure of 8. And we have a folded dipole. If we place the reflector here, then this signal will be reflected back and we are getting strong radiation in this direction. If you place a director here, then this radiation further increases in the forward direction. So that is the case of the Yagi-Uda antenna, as we have seen. In Yagi antenna, we have a folded dipole, a reflector, director. The reflector is reflecting the signal, whereas director is adding the signal properties to the folded dipole. So one antenna, if you take one antenna like this, it produces figure of 8 pattern. If another antenna is like this, it produces figure of 8 pattern. So we are getting the radiation pattern turnstile. In this diagram, all the radiation patterns are shown. This is the Hertzian dipole. It is a figure of radiation pattern is like this. And it is a Agee antenna. The radiation pattern is like this. Whereas turnstile antenna, which is combination of these two antennas, one folded dipole mounted vertically, another folded dipole mounted vertically. This figure of 8 mixes with another figure of 8, and we are getting a radiation pattern, almost the circular type of radiation pattern. So we have one half wavelength. This is one antenna, that is one folded dipole, whose length is lambda by 2. Another folded dipole, whose length is also equal to lambda by 2. This antenna fed with 0 degrees current, whereas this antenna is fed with 90 degrees out of phase current. Due to that, what happens here, this antenna, this half wave dipole produces a figure of 8 pattern like this, whereas this antenna produces a figure of 8 pattern like this, and vertical antenna produces a figure of 8 pattern like this. Then if we take the resultant of it, we are getting the circular radiation pattern. So radiation pattern is the graphical representation of the field with respect to direction. So when one figure of 8 perpendicular to another figure of 8 is added, we are getting the radiation pattern, almost the circular type of radiation pattern. And hence the turnstile antenna is a combination of two dipoles designed to give a omnidirectional radiation pattern in the horizontal plane with horizontal polarization. In this type of antenna, two crossed dipoles are used in a turnstile arrangement. Turnstile means perpendicular to each other arrangement. The dipoles are fed 90 degrees out of phase. Each dipole has figure of 8 pattern in the horizontal plane, but crossed with each other. The resultant field in all directions is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of fields radiated by each conductor in that direction. Thus, the resultant radiation pattern is very nearly circular in a planar turnstile antenna, which is shown in the diagram. If it is mounted in a horizontal plane, the antenna radiates horizontally polarized wave about equally well in all directions along the ground. So when the antenna is horizontally polarized, then there is a radiation equally in all directions along the ground. Because of this, turnstile antenna is used as a transmitting antenna. The main important application of turnstile antenna is it can be used as a transmitting antenna. Generally, the transmission should be in all the directions. For example, FM radio signal should be available around the circular radius of the transmitting station. Similarly, TV channel, a TV transmitter, for example, DD8 channel, must be available around the radius of a particular geographical area, centered at the transmitter. Therefore, we require the radiation in all the directions. Because of this, turnstile antenna is most widely used as a transmitting antenna for the purpose of television transmission. So this is the basic structure of the turnstile antenna. Here we have the design considerations. So this is one antenna, half wave dipole, or we can take folded dipole. Here these two poles consist of half wave dipole. One pole length is lambda by 4. Lambda in turn depends upon the frequency. Lambda equal to C by F. So depending upon the frequency, we are getting the value of lambda. Lambda equal to C by F means C is 3 into 10 power 8 divided by frequency of operation. Based on that, we are getting the value of lambda. Then take lambda by 4 element, another lambda by 4 element, then it forms lambda by 2 half wave dipole. Then place another lambda by 4 element and another lambda by 4 element, and this forms the second half wave dipole placed perpendicular to each other. Then here we are aligning. Inline alignment is there. If one is fed with 0 degrees phase shift, the other one should be fed with 90 degrees phase shift. So the design of this antenna is very simple. Calculate the value of lambda. Lambda equal to C by F for the given frequency of operation. We can calculate the value of lambda. Then we have half wave dipole. The length is lambda by 4. Another half wave dipole. The length is lambda by 4. Lambda by 4 plus lambda by 4, we get lambda by 2. So lambda by 2 antenna and the lambda by 2 antenna both are placed perpendicular to each other. One is given with 0 degrees phase shift of the modulated signal. The other one is given with 90 degrees phase shift of the modulated signal. Thereby, this turnstile antenna radiates omnidirectional radiation pattern, and then and hence this, because of these properties, it can be used as a TV transmitting antenna. In order that the currents on the dipoles are phase quadrature, dipoles are connected to separate non-resonant lines of unequal lengths. So we have one line, this is another line, they are of unequal length, so that we can feed with 180 degrees, 90 degrees out of phase. If the lengths are different, if you are using these transmission lines, if the lengths are different for the feed point, then we will be getting the phase quadrature effect. To increase the directivity in the vertical plane, the turnstiles are stacked on above the other, half wavelength apart. So one turnstile may not be sufficient to radiate the signal to long distance applications. In that case, there is a need for us to increase the directivity of this turnstile antenna. So in order to increase the directivity of the turnstile antenna, directivity is the maximum directive gain in a particular direction. It is producing a direction equal in all directions. One turnstile produces horizontal, that circular radiation pattern. If we are taking another turnstile antenna placed one over the other, they are spaced by lambda by 2 apart, then we can increase the directivity. So stacked turnstile antennas are used to increase the directivity of the signal. It produces a field intensity equal to maximum field of single dipole with the same power input. So this is the structure of the stacked turnstile. This is one turnstile antenna, one dipole, another dipole placed perpendicular to each other. This is one turnstile antenna. This is the second turnstile antenna, third turnstile antenna. They are placed by the separation of lambda by 2 here, and again second turnstile to third turnstile, lambda by 2. If you want to increase further directivity, then we can place another turnstile antenna stacked over here, and hence turnstiles are placed, number of turnstile antennas are placed one over the other with the spacing equal to lambda by 2. We are getting that stacked turnstile antenna. Thereby we can radiate a maximum amount of power in a many directional pattern to increase the directivity, so that the users at a long distance can also receive the signal properly. The drawbacks of the turnstile antennas: the upward and downward radiation from the turnstile antenna represents considerable loss of the power. There is certain loss of the power. The power density of the horizontally polarized radiation is 3 dB below. The maximum radiation of half-wave dipole radiating the same power. The gain of the turnstile antenna is actually about 3 dB less than that of the single dipole in its direction of maximum radiation, because each element of the turnstile receives only one half of the transmitted power. So to overcome this drawback, we are going for super turnstile antennas. The simple dipole elements are replaced by 4 flat sheets. So we are making use of 4 flat sheets instead of 4 simple dipole elements, attached to the metallic mast by the bars, leaving a slot. So we are slightly changing the constructional design of turnstile antenna. In place of single dipole, we are taking 4 flat sheets. They are attached to the metallic mast by the bars, leaving a slot. The current flowing radially out from the mast. Shapes of the sheet is such that upward and downward radiation cancelled out. Thereby, only directional radiation properties are achieved. So this is the structure of the super turnstile antenna. If you see the top view, this is the length is the lambda by 2. We have a mast, and this length is 0.7 lambda. And there is a slot here. We are taking the flat sheet. There is a slot here. This acts as one half-wave dipole. This acts as another half-wave dipole. Thereby, we can increase the maximum gain in the favored direction. Back upward and downward radiations will be minimized. So because of this, this can be used often for FM broadcast reception. Most widely used as a television transmitting antenna. Variations of the turnstile are used for FM broadcast transmitters. To avoid wide edge, that is wind resistance, the sheets may be replaced by grid of conductors. The power density in a horizontal plane is similar to the equatorial power density of normal dipole radiating the same power. So we have the equatorial power density. It is normal dipole radiating the same total amount of power. Such antennas are stacked to produce high gain. Now we have super turnstile antenna with grid of conductors instead of sheets. To withstand for wind pressure, we are making use of this grid type of conductors. Grids are provided. It is a sheet. Here this is hollow, and then they are grid type of conductors to make it withstand with the wind power, because this antenna is located outside. So we are getting all the properties such as gain in a circular radiation pattern, minimizing the radiations upward and downward, and we can produce maximum amount of radiation intensity in a particular direction. So this is the structure, one structure perpendicular to the other, the second structure. So it can produce many directional radiation pattern. Here we are making use of grid type of conductors. It is a super style antenna. So we have vertical dipoles, horizontal dipoles, spaced by lambda by 2 effort. So it can be used as a super turnstile antenna to increase the gain of the antenna. Super style antenna, it is sometimes it is also called as a batch wing antenna. This is the structure of the super turnstile mounted on the tower or a pole so that that radiation should not disturb the obstacles. Obstacles will be there. So on the top of the buildings or on the top of the towers or hill areas, these antennas are located so that there should not be any obstructions for the signal propagation. So now let us look into horn antenna. This is also one of the most widely used antennas. Horn antenna, it can also be called as a microwave horn because this horn is particularly used for microwave applications. So horn antenna, sometimes we call it as microwave horn antenna. It is an antenna that consists of a flaring metal waveguide shape like a horn to direct radiation waves in a beam. That means the dipole is opened out transmission line which has the total length lambda by 4 and which fully couples the electric field into the space. In a similar manner, the waveguide also have the capability to radiate the energy into the space when it is suitably excited at one end and opened out at the other end. So we have a waveguide and open the waveguide at the other end. When we feed a microwave signal at one end, through open end, it will be radiated. So this type of arrangement, we call it as horn antenna. Thus, we can say that the horn antenna is an opened out waveguide which couples the electric field fully into the space. It is used to open out the waveguide to transmitter or to receive microwave frequency signals. They are used as a feed antennas. So mostly horn feed is used for large antenna structures such as parabolic dish antennas. Horn antennas are widely used for frequencies at ultra high frequency and microwave frequencies. Above 300 megahertz frequencies, the most widely used suitable antenna is the horn antenna. So a horn antenna, it is also called as a microwave horn, is an antenna that consists of flaring metal waveguide shaped like a horn to direct radio waves in a beam. Horns are widely used antennas at VHF and microwave frequencies. So if the radiation is more than 300 megahertz, we can make use of this antenna for frequencies radiating into the space. They are used as feed antennas. Sometimes we call this horn antennas horn feed for larger antenna structures such as parabolic dish antenna. Dish antenna is also a microwave antenna, and we are making use of this horn antenna placed at the feed point at the focus of the parabola. We can feed the signal through this antenna so that parabola antenna will provide maximum directive gain in a particular direction. This is the structure of the horn antenna. So we have a waveguide or a dipole. It is flayed at open. It is opened. The dipole is opened out transmission line is opened out, which has a total length lambda by 4 and which fully couples the electric field into the space. In a similar manner, the waveguide also have the capability to radiate the energy into the space. This is the waveguide. When it far end is suitable, when it one end is suitably excited, and the other end is opened out like this. This structure we call it as horn structure. Thus, we can say that the horn antenna is an opened out waveguide. This is a opened out waveguide structure to transmit or to receive microwave frequency signals. So it can be used as a transmitting antenna for microwave signals. It can also be used as a receiving antenna for microwave signals. So these are the design considerations we have horn antenna. So we have a waveguide. If you take a rectangular waveguide, what is a waveguide? Waveguide is a hollow metallic tube. Inside it is hollow rectangular tube. So if we apply signal at one end by total internal reflection by the walls of the waveguide, the microwave signal is propagating through the waveguide. So this waveguide shape, it is flayed at the other end. Flayed means it is bent like this. It is opened out structure like this. So due to that, what happens? Instead of reflections at the open end, these electric signals are converted into electromagnetic waves and they are radiated into the space. So horn antenna is nothing but a waveguide flayed in the form of horn at the open end. Thereby, by applying microwave power at one end by means of total internal reflection through the walls of the waveguide, they are passing toward the other end, which is flayed, and then this flayed waveguide structure is capable of radiating the power into the space in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So see the structure how the signal is radiating. So apply the signal through this waveguide by total internal reflection. It is passing through the other end of the waveguide, and then this signal is coupling into the space. The matching of this impedance with the space impedance will be done due to the flayed horn here. So thereby the signal will be radiated or escaped into the space. And this is a design of a horn antenna. We have this waveguide. Broad wall of the waveguide, we are providing coaxial input. Through coaxial cable, we are applying the microwave signal. This signal goes into the waveguide and then it is further radiated into the space. The length here, we have the dimensions A0 broad wall and B0 is the narrow wall. A0 is 22.86 millimeter per a typical horn antenna. B0, this height is 10.16 millimeters. Then we have this flayed out A structure length is 137 millimeters. This is B is 101 millimeters. So this A0 is flayed out to A. That means 22.86 mm. We are making it as 137 mm at the far end. Similarly, B0 is 10.16 millimeters. This is 10.16, and it is expanded to B, that is 101 mm. So when this structure is the horn antenna, this is a type of the horn, rectangular type of horn antenna, and this length is LE. LE is 166 mm, and this length is LH. LH is 181 mm. So suitably, we have to design this antenna. Suitable proportions are to be taken into it here to get the maximum radiation pattern in a particular direction. It can be used as a directional antenna. And we have different types of horn antennas, namely H-plane sectorial horn, pyramidal horn, E-plane sectorial horn, conical horn antenna. There are different types of horn antenna structures. In H-plane sectorial horn, so we have the wider width here. In E-plane sectorial horn, we have this height is more. Here we have the E-plane and this is the H-plane. H-plane is through the broader wall. So it is a H-plane sectorial horn. H-plane sectorial horn is the horn which is flared out in horizontal direction. This is flared out in horizontal direction. Whereas the E-plane horn, this is the E-plane horn, is also a sectorial horn which is flared out vertical direction. So it is flared out vertically. This waveguide, when it is flared out horizontally, this horizontally, when it is expanded, we are getting H-plane sectorial horn. This waveguide at the far end, at the distant end, when it is expanded vertically, it is called a E-plane horn, sectorial horn. Now we have the pyramidal horn. The pyramidal horn is the horn which is flared out both the directions. So this is horizontally flared out. This is vertically also flared out. So then it becomes the structure pyramidal horn. If the flaring is done only horizontally, we call it as H-plane sectorial horn. If the flaring is done only vertically, we call it as a E-plane sectorial horn. If the flaring is done horizontally, that means expansion is done both horizontally and vertically, we call it as pyramidal horn. The circular horn, we have conical circular horn, is similar to H-plane or E-plane horn. It is similar to H-plane or E-plane horn, but it is now flayed out to form circular waveguide. So in a circular waveguide, it is flared out like this, expanded like this. We will be getting the circular horn antenna or conical type of horn antenna. Circular horn or conical horn antennas. So let me repeat this structure, how there are different types of horn antennas are produced. H-plane horn, it is a sectorial horn, which is the horn which is flayed out in horizontal direction. The E-plane horn is also a sectorial horn, which is flayed out vertical direction only. The pyramidal horn is the horn which is flayed out both the directions. The circular horn is similar to H-plane or E-plane horn, but it is now flayed out to form circular waveguide. So horn antenna can be effectively fed from a waveguide. From one end, we are suitably feeding it. When a waveguide is suitably excited at one end, for example, this is a one end. This here, this end we are exciting, and opened at the other end. See here, there are openings for different structures at the other end. A small portion of the energy will be radiated. The reason is mismatch at the end of the waveguide with the space. If the mount of the waveguide opened out, the drawback of the mismatch can be avoided. So if you are opening, more flaring is there, more amount of energy will be radiated into space. When the waveguide is terminated by horn Abrupt discontinuity is replaced by gradual transmission and impedance matching is correct. And also all the energy travel forward and will be radiated. The shape of the radiator field depends on the flared angle of the horn. The pyramidal horn and the conical horn gives pencil-like beam that has pronounced directivity in both vertical and horizontal planes. We have fan-shaped beam results for the sectorial horns, and we also have the biconical type of horn. Biconical means in the backward direction also there is a flaring biconical type of horn, beamed up in vertical and horizontal directions. So we can make the horn antennas very easily. The main important advantage of the horn antenna is we have good directivity, adequate bandwidth, simple mechanical constructions, convenient to employ with the waveguides. So various applications of the antenna, horn antennas are, it can be used as a primary radiator or a primary feed for parabolic reflector. For satellite tracking purpose, we can use horn antenna. It can be used at communication transmitters and receivers. And this is the radiation pattern of horn antenna. The pattern of the pyramidal horn antenna is very narrow in both principal planes. So it is a unidirectional type of radiation pattern. Suppose if it is placed like this, when we are feeding through the waveguide, it is radiated into space. And this blue shape is the E plane. And this red type of radiation structure shown here is the H plane. So it produces a very narrow in both the principal planes. And we can see the much more clear picture of the radiation pattern. This is the horn antenna waveguide. We have a waveguide here. It is flayed out both the ends. So we are getting pyramidal horn. Structure is pyramidal horn. Height-wise flayed out at open end. Width-wise also flayed out at open end. And we are feeding the signal from other end. The signal by touching the walls of the waveguide, the signal is propagated through it. And then here there is a flayed out. So the impedance of this flayed out structure will be matching with the impedance of the free space. Thereby, this main beam, it is an electromagnetic radiation pattern shown here. This is the main lobe and these are the side lobes. There is no backward wave. And we are propagating the signal in a particular direction. So in this direction, the antenna is oriented like this. There is a radiation in this direction. So it can be used as a directional radiation antenna. So then why we are using horn antennas? They can operate over a wide range of frequencies because it can be used as a microwave antenna. So it can operate a wide range of frequencies, very wide bandwidth. The bandwidth of the antenna is very wide. The bandwidth varies from 1 gigahertz to 20 gigahertz. So much wider bandwidth is provided. So we can make use of this antenna for receiving many number of channels because of the higher bandwidth. It also provides high directivity. It also provides high gain. It supports a wide variety of applications. The main application is it can be used as a primary radiator or primary feed antenna for parabolic dish antenna. It can be used for satellite tracking antennas. It can be used as a communication transmitter and receiver, microwave receiver and transmitter antennas because of its directional properties, operating over wide frequency range, very wide bandwidth, high directivity, high gain. Because of all these properties, it can be used as a microwave directional antenna. So how horn works? Horn antenna convert the electric power into radio waves. Horn antenna is located here. This is a parabolic dish, one important application. This is a parabolic dish antenna. Horn is located at the focus point of the parabola dish. It is converting electric power into radio electromagnetic waves. These electromagnetic, so when we are feeding the cable here, it is converting into electromagnetic waves and they are going toward the structure of the parabola dish and will be reflected by the parabola dish and there will be a radiation in a particular direction. For satellite tracking, this antenna is most widely used antenna. Horn antenna converting the electrical power into radio waves and vice versa. It is usually used with a radio transmitter or radio receiver. It provides a gradual transition structure to match the impedance of tube to the impedance of the free space, enabling the waves from the tube to radiate effectively into the space. So there is a matching of this played out structure with the space impedance, thereby there is an efficient radiation of the signal into the space. There are a number of advantages of horn antennas. They can operate over a wide range of frequencies, very wide bandwidth, 1 GHz to 20 GHz. There is high directivity, high gain, because it supports a wide range of applications. So horn antenna is the most widely used suitable antenna for microwave applications. Applications of horn antenna, they are used as a feeders called feed arms at the focus point. See this structure. This is a parabola dish. At this feed point, at the focus point, we have the horn antenna mounted. They are used as a feed antennas for the large antenna structures such as parabolic reflectors. It can be used as a directive antenna for such devices as radar guns, automatic dose openers, microwave radiometers, a common element of phased array radar, satellite and microwave communication applications, used in calibration, other high gain antenna calibrations, we can use it, use it for making electromagnetic interference measurement. So we can measure the electromagnetic interference measurement by making use of these horn antennas placed at the focus point of the parabola dish and we can do the measurement calculations. So in this lesson, we have studied about the need for turnstile antenna, principles of turnstile antenna, radiation pattern of turnstile antenna, different types of turnstile antenna, and we also studied in detail about the horn antennas. So this is the summary of this particular class. And let us answer some quiz questions. Turnstile antenna is used extensively for option A, reception, option B, TV transmitter, option C, earth stations. It is most widely used in TV transmission because of its omnidirectional radiation pattern. Second question, radiation pattern of turnstile antenna is A, bidirectional, B, omnidirectional, C, unidirectional. The option is omnidirectional radiation pattern, circular type of radiation pattern. So its radiation pattern is almost circular because one half-wave dipole producing figure of 8, another half-wave dipole placed perpendicular, it is producing another figure of 8. Thereby, when we combine it, we are getting the circular radiation pattern almost omnidirectional. Frequently asked questions. Explain turnstile antenna with a diagram. Draw and explain radiation pattern of turnstile antenna. Explain the working of super turnstile antenna. Explain horn antenna. Mention different applications of horn antenna.